everyone, thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm so grateful. In today's video, I wanted to talk about states, which would cover a few things. What is a state? What does it mean to be in a certain state of mind, a certain state of being, and how you can live in the end state? What is all that about? Now, starting with what is a state, okay? See, all these things, most of the things that we talk about on these manifestation channels are just regular things. But as I have mentioned before, once we start giving a lot of importance to something and we want it to be perfect, we want it to be done the right way, we start complicating really simple things. Now, for example, what I'm talking about right now, a state. There's nothing complicated about it, there's nothing complex about it. What is your state? Your state is your consciousness. Okay, this me right here sitting, how am I feeling while filming this video? Am I nervous? I was a little nervous, I won't lie, because I haven't shot in 10 days. So I still get a little nervous in front of the camera. So that is my state of being. That was not right now. That I am nervous. Okay, it's just your state of being. It never stays the same throughout the day. Okay, we are humans, we feel so many things throughout the day. We might be having an amazing morning, then we look in the TV and we see something disturbing that has happened somewhere in the world, and it kind of affects us, right? We kind of absorb that unpleasant feeling, and our state of being changes. Got it? So, this is your state, this is you. How are you in this moment? How are you feeling? Now, that's something that is a day to day basis. Coming to manifestation, coming to desires and topics, if you are someone who thinks money is difficult to manifest, that is your state of being, state of mind around money, right? Love is difficult to manifest, good partners is difficult to manifest, or even if you don't use the word manifest, it's difficult for good people to come by. It's difficult for good partners to enter my life, right? That is your state of being around love and relationships. So there's nothing complicated about states. Okay, don't worry. State is just you. How are you in this moment? How are you in your daily life? How are you feeling? What is your state around a certain topic? Just that. Now, what do I mean when I say to manifest, you need to live in the end state? Okay, what does that end state mean? What does it look like? So, firstly, I'll just talk about end goals a bit. It's kind of related to that. One thing is, end goals is something you need to set for yourself. I say this in all videos. Don't give your power away and get too technical with things where you're just in a questioning mode. Tell me how to do this. Tell me what end goals to set. Tell me how to affirm. Tell me how to do this. I'm not trying to say that questions are bad, okay, because I know when you try to learn something, a new subject from the scratch, small things can cause confusion, right? I understand that. Been there, done that, okay. But if you're watching a lot of content where they are helping you and guiding you step by step on how to do it, still you feel you are stuck in a questioning mode, again, that is a state of being, right? I did do a video on this, that stop looking for your manifestation out there and stop questioning. By that, I did not mean that never ask questions, because you will have doubts, you will have confusions. Don't get stuck in that, because when you get stuck in questioning, most of the time questions will keep arising and making very simple things complicated. That's what I mean, okay? Asking questions is not bad when you genuinely want to learn about something. But know how much power and how much control to give away, where you don't get dependent so much on just seeking answers from outside, that if someday there's no video or content or answers coming out, you feel uncomfortable and you don't know, even after watching so much, you don't know that what you need to do next. That's what I mean. Now, when you set an end goal, okay, end goal can be anything. It does not have to be one goal, okay? It's a misconception. With SP, end goal does not have to be marriage. What if I don't believe in marriage? Okay, what if I'm not ready for that right now? What if my inner world, I'm not able to saturate myself with it? Doesn't matter. Come a few steps back. Manifest a commitment. Manifest getting to know each other's families. There are so many things you can do. So don't get into this trap where because someone is suggesting that you should straight go to the end, or else you can't do it. There's nothing like this. Everything can be done step by step when you are in a learning process, when you are at a learner stage. So decide your end goal. There could be a big end goal, there could be two, three tiny milestones, small end goals before that. It's completely fine. Once you choose your end goal, that's when you need to work on coming into that end state of having that end goal in your inner world. If my end goal, my big end goal, is being wealthy and financially independent at all times, okay? I want to be earning money even while I'm sleeping. I want to have multiple passive incomes, okay, and maybe one active income. I never want to look at a price tag. I want to spoil my friends and family. I never want to, you know, operate on budgets and, cut down on things. I don't want to decide between want, desire, and needs. I want it all, okay? That's like a big goal. By the way, that's my personal goal, which I just mentioned. And then before that, there could be a lot of different goals, right? Specific goals on which I'm focusing at this moment, which could be, for example, growing my YouTube channel. Okay. Imagining myself finally starting and registering a online business. Okay. There could be multiple things. What do you want to focus on right now? What would you be comfortable with right now that, this is something I can persist in. And when it comes, I'll be more confident. Then I can persist in this other thing because that seems a bit higher. Now, again, for example, if I'm manifesting 100,000 subscribers, right now, if you ask me, I'm not really comfortable with telling that number to myself. Again, that does not translate into me thinking it's impossible. It's not impossible. I have seen people manifesting 100,000 subscribers in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Okay, that is not the point. I know it's possible. I've seen it happening for people. I know it can happen for me. But I'm not comfortable with doing it in my internal world right now. So I'll come back a bit. Maybe 50,000. Okay, that is kind of making me feel good. That is something I can do. That is something I can persist in. My logical mind is not, creating resistance for me. So why don't I do 50,000? And once I reach there, because I know, see, I have manifested this, I can easily get now 203,000. It just boosts your confidence so much. You even skip that part which felt higher at first and just go to the next one because your assumptions have turned into facts. Okay, it's a cycle. I persist internally, I see evidence, I see movement, I see it going, I see the momentum, hardens into fact, persist even further. The desire materializes. Now I'm so confident I can go to that higher end goal. So your end state is persisting in that state of having your desire, which is that immediate goal, not that big goal. Right now, what you're focusing on, that goal. You need to get into that end state and persist in it. Okay, techniques are made for that. Techniques are made for you to come into the end state. You have to persist in that end state of having that immediate goal. Okay, if you have seen the videos I made in the first initial month, from the beginning you'll hear me saying, I don't see living in the end as a technique. Okay, that's not a technique, that's a way to manifest. You can use all other techniques to bring you in that end state. Okay, living in the end state is not a technique. That's how you manifest, that's how you do it. Now, to come into that end state, you use techniques. What do you think techniques are doing? They're not manifesting for you. Okay. Don't put that kind of responsibility on techniques. Don't have those kind of expectations. There's only one work of techniques, which is to bring you in that end state where you are imagining yourself, feeling it, that you already have it or you're experiencing it within you. That's all techniques do. Okay, a lot of factors come into the picture after that. What are you doing for the remaining hours? Where's your dominant attention, energy, everything else? Okay, so techniques are just present for you to rewire your mind, your thoughts, saturate your inner world with that end result, the desire, and all of that is living in the end state. Now, the next confusion people have is, do you have to live in the end state all the time? Okay, now I'll again share my perspective on that. See, you are never in the same state throughout the day, as I mentioned before. Your state changes throughout the day based on what's going on around you, okay, or based on whatever going on within you. You change your states all the time. Morning, you might be having another state, afternoon, another, night, another. Okay, it's fine. So, no, you don't have to put that pressure on yourself and try to, force yourself to be in that end state. Anytime you're forcing something, it's not anyways going to feel good, okay? You don't have to force manifestation. It should always feel like this pleasant flowing thing within you, and you have to go with the flow. So if you're forcing yourself to be in that end state, the whole point of manifestation and living in the end state is you are living in that end state of having your desire where you're supposed to feel good. Now if you're forcing yourself into that, how are you feeling good? Okay, just think about it logically. So, no, you don't have to be in that all the time. Should that be something that is dominant within you? Yes. Now, it being dominant doesn't directly translate to you doing it all day long. What does it translate to? It translates to you doing it a few times a day when you're feeling good or when the topic is coming up in your mind, or if you're at a very beginner stage where you really need to focus on rewiring your thoughts and beliefs, you're doing it a little more, but from a good state of being, not desperate, anxiety, fear, doubts, not from that state. When you're in that state, take a break, take a pause. Okay, put a pause to your manifestation work, come back to yourself, have a good inner dialogue that why am I feeling this way. Everything can change. People, situations change every day. People change their beliefs throughout their lifetime. I was someone else, my beliefs were different last year, today it's different. It's a really natural thing. I can do it. I have the power. Create this kind of inner dialogue. Do I deserve this thing? Yes, then why am I doubting myself? Why can't I get it? Everyone gets it. It's a really normal thing to have. Normalize your desire for yourself. These kind of inner dialogues and self talks help a lot, immensely. Put it into action, see it for yourself. When I'm saying it right now, maybe you might not get and understand the impact of it, but it's really high. So when you're so entangled in those negative emotions, it's fine, take a break, okay, step back. I have spoken about this in one of the videos called Manifesting While Having Bad Days. And be in a good state of mind when you're practicing techniques, trying to come into the end state, visualizing scenes where you have your desire, experiencing, having inner conversations, be in a good end state. Remaining hours of the day, ensure you are not replaying the old story. If you're still replaying all old incident stories within you, like detail by detail, sentence by sentence, and you know what I'm talking about. A simple example is when you had an argument with a loved one, okay? And then you replay it within you. I could have said that, I could have said this, and even after days and days, you're replaying, why did they say this? You're keeping it alive within you. You're keeping it, that story alive. You're keeping it alive in your awareness. That is what I mean. People don't see where the focus is going other times of the day. They just come on and they're like, I've been affirming, I've been doing visualization, I've been doing inner conversation, I've been doing so many techniques. Why is it not coming? Okay, fine. What are you doing here? I can't see what you're doing here through the screen. You need to take that accountability. What are you doing? Where is your dominant attention and focus? Think right now about your desire. Does it take you to a pretty beautiful visualization scene? Or does it take you to fears and doubts? This is the most simple exercise to understand where your focus is. Right now, sit and think about your desire. Where is your mind going? That is dominant within you. If this is dominant now, you need to put in more efforts to ensure this fades away and this becomes dominant. So, no, it's not necessary that you try to keep pulling yourself in that end state or techniques or practices. You can do it when it feels good. Okay, and the remaining day you need to be in this pleasant, light expectation that this is coming. It's just like giving an interview. You know your interview went well, okay, and it's done. Okay, the interview is done, same like when your techniques work is done. And throughout the day or the next day, because they'll get back to you in 2 to 3 days, because you're so confident that your interview went so well, you're in this pleasant expectation of getting a positive call back. Because you're confident, because you have faith and believe that it went well, you're not going to struggle with, doing over analyzing, overthinking, sitting and replaying the whole interview in your mind for the next 2 days, and you're just not concentrating on anything else. Okay, your self concept, confidence, these kind of things play a huge role in how you are executing a manifestation process. So, the other times when you're not doing techniques, you need to have these positive and pleasant expectations. Again, you don't have to force yourself for everything. I'm not having pleasant expectations. How do I create pleasant expectations? Those pleasant expectations will be created by default from those techniques you're doing. Okay, the more efforts you put into techniques and have a good self dialogue when you're having opposite feelings, they will generate thoughts, because those techniques are for you to live in the end state, rewire your thoughts and beliefs. They will generate thoughts of positive expectation. It's all interconnected. Okay, at each step, you don't have to get stuck and question, but how do I do this? But how do I do this? It's all interconnected. Everything has a byproduct. Everything has a byproduct. I do techniques, I'm putting in the work, the discipline. It's rewiring my mind slowly, slowly. It's replacing my beliefs. Slowly, my fears, triggers, doubts are fading away. I'm not associating or identifying with that old story anymore. Other times, I am ensuring that if I'm having thoughts that do not align with the reality I'm seeking, I'm putting in some affirmations around it. I'm coming into my own power. I'm having a good self inner dialogue, which is again bringing me into that state of being where I have positive and pleasant expectations that, no, it's done. It's coming anytime soon. I can get it. It's a really normal thing. Why will I not get it? I'm worthy. I'm deserving. It's going to come. It's done. And I'm going to just be in that pleasant expectation. And again, if fears and doubts are coming up, self dialogue, inner dialogue, fading away, being in a pleasant expectation, then going back to your techniques work, okay? You need to balance all this out, and it's all really interconnected. Everything has a byproduct. This is how you're changing states, okay? Your states are changing when you are deciding what kind of reality you want to be in. I'm not in a pleasant circumstance. I decide I want to be in a pleasant circumstance, whether it's in a workplace, a relationship, at home. Once I decide that, I will align with that version who already has that. Okay, what will I do if I have wealth? I will be so relaxed. I will not check my bank statement regularly. I will not worry about bills. I will not worry about price tags. I will feel secure, stable. Okay, these are all internal feelings, feelings of safety, stability, being secure. Okay, that's how I will feel if I am wealthy and financially abundant. During the remaining day, I should not be worrying and bringing up anxiety, fears, triggers in me where I feel that I don't have enough. I can't purchase this thing. I can't invest here. I can't take this trip. I don't have to deliberately sit and dwell in those stories. That's what we do most of the time. We deliberately sit and play those things inside us. We can as easily just not play those things inside us and replace it with some favorable stories. How easily are you able to play negative things inside you? What if this happens? What if that happens? Half of the time you're creating things in your mind that are not here yet. You're just creating those problems. Why can't you as easily shift here, create a favorable circumstance? What if this happens? Wow. And just keep the momentum going. It's always a choice, okay? It's always going to be a choice which is in your control, whether you want to indulge in this side, what could happen, what could go wrong, or indulge in this side, what could go right, what all beautiful things could happen. Whatever you choose is what's going to play inside you more, become dominant, and then reflect outside. So that is what a state of being, and an end state means. Now, a lot of people also confuse living in the end because they see it as a technique. This was something that used to be taught a lot in the older videos and even in the documentary and book, The Secret, where you need to physically, act as if you have your desire, okay? And because manifestation is a completely internal process, you don't have to act like anything in your physical reality. Now, if you like doing it, is a separate topic. Do you have to do it? No. If that is something you enjoy, I remember there was this example in The Secret where if you are seeking a partner, start behaving like you have a partner. What will you do for it? You will make place for them in your wardrobe. You know, that person is shifting their clothes and making place for their partner's clothes. You will make place for them on the other half of the bed. Okay, you will put a side table for them. You don't have to do all that. Manifestation is not physical. I mean, you will end up doing all that once you have a partner in your life, but that's not the way to call them in. If you're doing it out of pure enjoyment, do it. If that's something you are just enjoying in doing, but don't get into the misconception that that is the way, acting as if in your reality physically, to call it in, because manifestation is a completely internal process. This is where you need to experience. You don't have to go around doing physical things. That's the whole point of manifestation. Okay. So that's not the same thing. Living in the end state, living from the end state is going to be being in that end state in your emotions, thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Okay. Internal work. Physically, if you're enjoying doing all that, do it. Whatever you feel good about, do it. Okay. But don't think that this was the way. Now, why didn't it work out? Because manifestation is always going to be internal. It has nothing to do with the external world out there. Once you know it's here, once you come into that place where it feels so familiar to you here, that feeling starts becoming familiar when you put more and more repetition. Like, this feels so normal and so likely that, I'm just in this present expectation it's going to show up any day. That is the familiar feeling that you will generate when you put in the discipline, put in techniques, and ensure during the remaining time of the day your focus is not wavering here and there. So, no, acting as if can be called as a technique. Living in the end is not a technique. You can do this if you feel good, okay? You don't have to do this. That is not the way to manifest. That is something which I disagree with now. It's been long, right? The Secret was released. But manifestation is completely internal. It's not external, it's not manipulation, it's not, taking forced action to do anything. Do it out of enjoyment, but this is where you need to focus. Okay, so that's all I wanted to discuss in that video. I really hope it added value to your manifestation process. In case you have any kinds of questions or confusions around this topic, you can leave it in the comment section below. I also have my Instagram linked below for a regular dose of motivation. Everything I discuss in this videos, terms, concepts are uploaded there in a written format. I also have my second channel linked below around self-development. That's not really from a manifestation perspective, but in general. You can check out the videos there. If it interests you, you can follow me over there. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, have a great week.